Thank you for downloading this episode of the This Is Awesome Wrestling Show on the CLEsound.com. Also on Twitter, you can follow me, Glenn Moore, CLE. You got Mr. Steve Guy, co-host here.
The Steve Guy on the Twitter.
And you can go on iTunes, and you can subscribe to our feed. Every week we'll put out a show, and you can listen to our past shows, interviews, Jerry the King Lawler, Ethan Carter III, Seth Rollins. We'll be talking about that in this episode. You can go back on there also at the website, CLEsound.com, get all the updates from our show and the other shows on the network. So thank you for downloading, and enjoy the show. Happy New Year from the This Is Awesome Wrestling Show.
Woo! I'm jacked up.
First show of 2015.
Yeah.
And what a better way to kick off the new year than to kind of recap 2014 in the professional wrestling world. We're going to go over the top and worst moments, who passed away, and looking forward to 2015 with our predictions and who will be champion. Who will be champion in 2015? I'm Glenn Moore. Follow me on Twitter at Glenn Moore CLE, my co-host here, who is here for the show. After we took a little hiatus for the holidays, we're back. We're going to be going strong. Mr. Steve Guy, we've been blowing up lately.
I know, we have. It's been awesome.
The show has been featured. Well, first of all, we got to get you more included into the show because first,
look,
we were in Cleveland Magazine.
Boy, we were.
Well, I was.
Oh, I saw your picture. Next to the cute girls that are on the CLE
yes.
Sound. Yeah, Steve Guy, nowhere to be found.
And then you weren't here. You were present for the Seth Rollins interview that has gotten the most downloads on the network and for all our shows.
Yeah.
So Seth Rollins interview, you can go back on iTunes, listen to that. But blowing up, but we got to get you present and accounted for on all costs when it comes to the show, buddy.
My name was in Cleveland Magazine.
It was there. We got to get your photo.
Yeah.
The bearded one.
Yeah.
Are you going to Daniel Bryan?
My
beard?
beard is going awesomely right now. It's 2 months in. I'm pretty excited about it. It probably needs a trim right about now.
Looks good.
Thanks.
And we both have beards.
We do both have beards.
We should do a show, not just talk wrestling, but also
just talk about beards.
Because people want to hear. I mean, you see a bearded guy, people think you're smart automatically. You can play with it, and when you're thinking, it's a good thing. So I think we should do a show.
We probably should have rated the best beards in WWE for 2014.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
But we're not going to do that today.
All right, fine.
Like I said, you guys can go on iTunes and subscribe. Go to CLEsound.com, CLE Sound on Twitter, Facebook. Hit us up and follow along with our show and also the other shows on the network. All right, we're going to recap Raw a little bit later on the show.
Sure.
But we're going to get into what 2014 meant to us. You and I saw some great shows. We're both at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Went to a few Raws. You were at TLC. So we saw a lot of wrestling live. Is there a moment before we get into the top moments and worst moments of 2014 in your eyes, personally, that you witnessed live in person? Is one that sticks out in your mind?
Being there in person, there's a few moments, and they're on my list of not just necessarily as being a fan, being there in that present moment, but as somebody who would have been watching too. So kind of back and forth. But I do have one moment that's not on this list because my list is more specifically WWE. And a quick shout out to the local group of AIW, that wrestling organization here in Cleveland. Because of them, I got to see Buff Bagwell live in the summer of 2014, and dude sang American Males.
Did you have to pay for that?
No,
service?
Thanks to my
you didn't
friend
pay for that
Chris
service
Van
from
Vliet.
Buff Bagwell?
Did not pay for that service, thankfully. But that was, I don't want to say it was a dream come true because I never really dreamt of it, but it was one of those moments where you just walk into it and you're like, yes, this is great.
Now, my moment is probably a little better than yours.
All right.
Being able to be part of Friends and Family for WrestleMania and be in the backstage area and meeting Ric Flair and getting a picture with Ric Flair and being able to talk with him for a few minutes. This is basically sitting there, but that was my moment of
My greatest moment for you is getting photobombed by Scott Hall.
with a picture
Your
of
picture
Summer
of
Rae.
Summer Rae.
That was good too. That was, and also doing the arm thing with Scott Hall.
Yeah.
There, and also seeing X-Pac and doing that. So that was fun. So I had a lot of great moments. And so did you, because we were partying in New Orleans.
Oh yeah, we had a great time in New
together
Orleans with
on Bourbon Street
with the Mizanins and friends.
with the Mrs. Mom and Mr. Minzanin. All right, let's get into it. Now we emailed yesterday about what we're going to talk about today in 2014.
Yeah, that's right, folks. We're getting 2015 off with a bang. We are preparing before these shows.
We have notes.
I even have the WWE Network now.
For the first time, I wrote notes. All right. Let's go to the worst, all right?
All right.
The worst of 2014. Right off the bat, my first one, any guest host that has guest hosted Raw, celebrity, you have Scooby-Doo, Grumpy the Grumpy Cat, you have Jerry Springer, remember the whole Bella thing?
Yeah.
Hoda and Kathy Lee Gifford. Terrible, awful. That was definitely not awesome, but that was my probably worst moment of 2014.
Yeah, you didn't like Hugh Jackman?
I mean, I'm sick of the whole celebrity thing.
My worst moment of 2014, well, I think it kind of goes along with the people dying, actually.
Oh.
My worst moment of 2014 was the Ultimate Warrior's amazing return, only to find out the next day that he drops dead.
Where were you when you found out that Ultimate Warrior passed away? Because you were what? Were you on your way back, or are you back already?
It was, we found out Tuesday. So I was just getting back. I woke up, actually. So we drove back. It was almost like a 22-hour drive, something crazy like that. Yeah. I just drove the entire way myself. I was the only driver, so I was dead tired. Yeah. I was awake that entire time. I crashed. I woke up and looked at my cell phone, and I had a bunch of messages from everybody like I knew, and then like the WWE message. I'm like, oh my God. I couldn't believe it. I was like, holy crap, there's no way. I just watched him.
Yeah.
At WrestleMania. It looked awesome.
I went to Raw the following night.
Yeah.
And then I drove about a few hours into Mississippi, got a hotel Monday night, and then Tuesday I took my time getting back. I had to be back till Wednesday, but for work. So Tuesday, it was in the evening, and I got a text from a good friend of the show, Chris Van Vliet, hey, did you see what Warrior passed away? I'm like, are you serious?
It's one of the people who texted me, yeah.
And I went on Twitter to see if it was a hoax or if it was just a rumor. And,
that's what I thought.
And everybody was talking about it. And I was remembering, I think I was passing Mansfield, and when I found out, it was just, I turned the radio off. I was
actually, I looked back, and actually what I did was as I was falling asleep that morning on Tuesday morning, before finding out, because it was like super early in the morning that I was falling asleep. I had already watched Raw on Hulu, so I had already seen him on Raw. And I was like, oh man, he's looking a little shaky, but he's beaten up.
Yeah.
But that was
hard.
definitely a low moment for me. Like I was the Ultimate Warrior for Halloween as a kid growing up.
I loved watching the old matches on the WWE Network before before he passed away, and in the months after, and even before. Memories of him facing Hogan and just the great matches that he had. And it's a shame that, it was great that he was honored and put in the Hall of Fame, but didn't really have time to really enjoy it. But
you want to have more. What I still wanted to see, and now we'll never get to, was every year at the Royal Rumble, you had the surprise entrance, the celebrity, the legends, and just one year I wanted to hear the music hit and him just come tearing down the aisleway, going in, even if he just rolls into the ring and then just gets thrown right back out. I thought that would have been classic and great.
The one thing, if you watch the network, they did a special the whole week.
Yeah.
And they showed some scenes from behind the scenes of him talking to Hogan, bearing the hatchet with him, and also with McMahon.
Yep.
He gave him the book, I think the Little Engine That Could.
Yeah.
That's McMahon's favorite book, and he signed it. So it was good to see him kind of make amends to
with everybody as much as he could,
to people that he kind of bumped heads with in the 90s. So it was great to see that. But I wish he had more time to enjoy being in the Hall of Fame and coming off of Monday Night Raw when he came on and did the ring. But he looked pretty in bad shape.
I mean, like, it's so weird because it was just, it was a heart attack. It wasn't anything. It's not like this guy was battling cancer or anything as far as we know, but looking back, having watched all that stuff and the speech on Raw, it's like you sit there and watch it, and like it's almost like, did this guy know? Did he freaking know that he had a couple days or what? That was so eerie to me.
Sticking with man, when I say the worst moments,
I know. All right, let me go away
hating,
from that.
And I can't hate on the Warrior.
That's true.
But let's go to the who passed away before we get. Might as well stick to the
all right.
Who passed away and the notables. There's a lot of professional wrestlers that passed away, but the ones that you as a casual fan or a fan of the 90s would know is Mae Young passed away in January. If you know about her and the Fabulous Moolah, they always
truly one of the first divas ever.
Definitely, and she
before
still
they were called divas.
She was what 70, 80 years old, being powerbombed through tables by the Dudley Boys back in the Attitude Era,
giving birth to hands.
Now that hand is an organ. Well, he's all grown up, right? We saw that.
The hand is all grown up. Yes.
Viscera.
Big
Daddy
Mabel.
D. Yeah.
Yeah.
The world's largest sex machine.
Yeah.
Or love machine, whatever he called him. Ultimate Warrior, and then Sean O'Hara. You know him from WCW.
Yeah.
Part of a great tag team, I think.
With Chuck Palumbo.
Yeah. The Power Tag Team.
Yeah.
WCW, and then he went to WWE when they had the Invasion. But he was a great wrestler, and he also passed away back in September. So there is 4 notables, people who passed away, professional wrestlers. But going back to the worst moments, Batista went in the Rumble. I think it was awful.
That was bad.
Didn't think it was warranted, and him coming back and then winning the Rumble, I think was too obvious. All right, Lesnar having the title.
I was going to say
no 30-day compete.
That is actually
clause.
my top worst moment. Is that we finished 2014 with 2 or 3 pay-per-views with no championship match.
Unbelievable. Daniel Bryan got hurt, wasn't able to compete, but had to give up his
Also on my
title.
worst moments list.
But Brock Lesnar
that whole
can
momentum,
come and go.
and then he's gone. Yeah,
unbelievable.
I mean, Brock Lesnar makes a great champion.
Yeah,
such a believable
Strong.
champion. Yeah, but how many? Paul Heyman coming out and saying, "Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman."
Sounds like Kermit Heyman.
Yeah, that was bad. It's whatever. Anyway, him coming out every week and saying Brock Lesnar, it loses its mystique if Brock Lesnar's not there.
Yeah, I agree.
Or you don't expect Heyman to get in some sort of trouble and then the music to hit and Brock Lesnar to come out and save him.
Yeah,
terrible.
I think
I get it. It's a money thing, but
but I think they're making the title not the main spotlight, and if they do give it to like a Daniel Bryan again, it doesn't seem to mean that much because it has been on TV for long. You kind of forget it.
Yeah.
And the IC title has kind of been.
Yeah, I like that the other titles are kind of gaining more momentum again.
But there's no storylines with those titles.
No, there's not.
I mean, I think last night, we'll get into last night, but Ziggler and Ben Barrett had a great match.
Quick. Yeah.
But, I mean, there's no really storyline to that.
Yeah.
And there's no storyline. I mean, Rusev has the United States Championship, but who can beat
I think
him?
the storyline there is constantly, can somebody from America beat him?
But it's the same rotation. You got Mark Henry, Big Show,
Jack Swagger.
It's been a rotation of guys. The tag team title is a little more play into that, but there's not really a in-depth tag team division. So I don't like Lesnar. Other things I don't like is the bunny, wrestling, and then the bull wrestling. Wherever that was, what's the bull's
El
name?
Torito.
Terrible, awful.
El Torito and Hornswoggle was
the crocodile,
a little classic.
Alligator, the gator.
Not when he was the Gator, but when he was with the 3-man band earlier in the year, and they had that classic showdown. That was
still
all right.
No,
but I had along those lines. You don't have the bunny wrestling if the Adam Rose character doesn't suddenly fall flat. I mean, I remember early in 2014, they're pushing Adam Rose. I'm like, what the heck is this? And then he comes out in the entrance, and if you watched NXT beforehand, you knew the entrance.
Yeah.
And then that happens. You're like, all right, this is probably the greatest entrance ever. But then what do you do after that? And that's exactly what happened. He gave us the bunny, and that's about it. So here is yet another character, and that's it.
Adam Rose main evented Raw last night. He was in the main event.
Yeah, he was in I guess. He was in the last wrestling match of the night.
Which is the main event.
Yeah.
Any other
bad things?
Yeah.
I think, let's see, not having the title, Daniel Bryan, just all that momentum, and this is not something that he can help. It's not storyline related. Obviously, he gets hurt. That really sucks. I think that the whole 2014 ending with the Ambrose and Wyatt feud the way it did, taking away from, you are so invested in the Ambrose and Rollins feud, and it's so believable and so great and so amazing, and then this Wyatt thing just kind of comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to just roll with that and believe it. I don't know. Was their match at TLC good? Yeah, but then does this have to keep going on? No, not necessarily. And then, and the Authority, you finally get rid of him. It's like you finally have an end to this storyline, and really, your last Raw 2014, you're going to bring them right back that quickly?
Yeah, I think it was a little quick, but I think for WrestleMania with Sting versus Triple H, I think that's going to happen. That you'll be happy because I think you do have the Authority need to come back, then Sting come, and then that they have that build up towards WrestleMania.
I feel like you still could have had that without the Authority being there.
I think they scrambled. I think they scrambled because you need a GM. You need kind of some authority figure.
Well, and that was one of the things that kind of was at my list too, was the brief return of our favorite Raw GM, the anonymous
and
GM.
There was no explanation whatsoever why.
And then it was gone again too, though.
Awful.
Very quickly.
So those were the worst moments in WWE. Now I was putting the list together. I was thinking, going through lists on the internet, videos.
Had a cough.
A lot of top moments. I think the top moment of my year watching WWE had to be WrestleMania to start. Hogan comes out.
Yes.
Then Stone Cold, then The Rock. That was when I literally jumped out of my seat and was excited to see what was going to happen.
That was, I mean, it was early in the year, but still, it sticks out of my mind as one of the best moments of the year. To me, one of the best WrestleMania moments. Easily the greatest WrestleMania moment.
Yep.
That wasn't in a match. I mean, you have Hogan out there, and then you have Stone Cold, and who didn't have any plans to go with a what chant until you're watching it happen, which is great. And you're watching WrestleMania 1, WrestleMania 2, 3, WrestleMania 4. I mean, that was just classic. I think you get the picture. Incredible. And then The Rock's music hits.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't get any better. I'm getting chills right now just thinking about it, just sitting in my seat and then standing up, and then I sit down and enjoy this. And you're up again. You say, I'll enjoy this. And then you're up again. Oh, man. That was awesome. No other word.
That's my top moment. Obviously, there's other moments with The Rock coming back and surprising Rusev. We didn't see that coming.
No.
That
Classic.
was shocking. And we had Jerry the King Lawler on the podcast.
Yeah.
And they didn't even know that The Rock was going to come out. They kept it such a secret. Also, this is back in January, so it seems like it's longer than before. But when Jake the Snake Roberts came back for the old school Raw.
Oh, sure.
Remember when he came out and put the snake on Ambrose?
Yep.
That was back in January, so it was a year ago, but that still happened. That was one of the top moments of 2014. Obviously, Rollins betraying the Shield was pretty cool.
Huge.
Because now you have Roman Reigns on his own. Ambrose has been able to shine, and then Seth Rollins seems to be the guy now. Sting arriving, obviously, is another. And then you kind of have, we talked about Warrior. Then you have a couple here, and I think you know which ones. Daniel Bryan winning the title.
Yeah, also made my list.
And then Lesnar defeating the Streak.
Yeah.
Both on the same show.
And plus The Rock, Stone Cold, and Hogan, all in one show there. All that makes mine. I agree with you. I think Austin, Rock, and Hogan probably tops my list. Just and brings every single generation kind of together.
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan winning was great. I think the Shield and Evolution rivalry that went over the course of a couple pay-per-views really carried through the summer. And everything, and I thought those were great. Yeah. I mean, they put on some awesome matches. Extreme Rules and Rollins jumping off the wherever from the stands and landing on everybody. That was amazing. The matches those guys put on and just battled was great and entertaining. And it's like that's what you wanted to watch. That's when I felt like we were getting back to almost like that Attitude Era.
Yeah.
For me, those guys. Mizdow making his presence felt.
That's true, yeah.
In 2014, it was a top moment for me because it was just so entertaining. I did have the Warrior on there, and then maybe it's just because I'm being a homer, but Ziggler's performance at Survivor Series, taking down the Authority, was great. And then this one is more special to me because I was there in the moment, but Ziggler's Intercontinental match at TLC to win the belt against Luke Harper. Glenn, you weren't there, unfortunately, but I mean, to feel it when I was there, and you've been to a Raw after WrestleMania.
Yeah.
The crowd for that match felt like a Raw after WrestleMania. It was.
It didn't come over on TV.
Oh man, live in there, and you've been to Cavs games, obviously. You would have thought that that place was sold out for a Cavs game in the NBA Finals. It was amazing. As soon as the bell rang and Lillian says this our first match is a ladder match, everybody went nuts. And then Ziggler's music hits and everybody goes crazy, and he comes out, he's wearing his Kent State hoodie, he's got the brownie elf on the back of his trunks. And then she does the championship style introductions, and she says from Cleveland, Ohio, and the place just erupts again. And I mean, I don't know if they came over across the air, but you had the Let's Go Ziggler chants. There was not a moment in that match live that those chants like fully died out. There was a pocket somewhere in that arena chanting it the entire time from start to finish. And it was just so cool. It was so surreal. And I'm just thinking, what other city is this happening in for a hometown wrestler?
Oh, then CM Punk.
Yeah, besides Chicago with CM Punk.
We forgot that was one of the worst moments is CM Punk leaving.
Punk walking out.
I've never been a fan of CM Punk per
That was
se.
also all the way back in January.
Yeah. That was
right after Royal Rumble.
It was here in Cleveland. That's when he walked.
That's
I actually
right.
saw him walk out.
Yeah.
I was backstage. I get there. Lawler and I are hanging out. Lawler comes up to me and goes, "Hey, you want a CM Punk t-shirt for free?" I'm like, "Okay." He throws me a CM Punk t-shirt. And then I see CM Punk and AJ Lee with a pissed off look on their face walk by us, and like he's leaving. So the last time you see CM Punk in the WWE arena, he gone.
He gone.
So I was never a fan of his, but obviously a big impact.
He was a great heel.
Yeah, he was a great heel. His pipe bombs were legendary. A guy that really can push the needle when it comes to
in the
promos.
last 5 years, Brock Lesnar was a believable end to the streak, but in terms of getting under your skin as an opponent to the streak at WrestleMania, CM Punk the entire way. And Paul Bearer passed away, but the fact that they didn't shy away from that, and he just dug into it even more, mocking the Undertaker the entire match, all of it, man, that was just classic heel stuff.
Yeah. And you listen to Punk on Coca Menace podcast and the reasoning behind, and you kind of side with Punk a little bit because the writing has been terrible, and it has gone to the ratings and people not buying in. It's more PG and everything.
Yeah, I respect the fact that he said he was really kind of happy to see that Daniel Bryan ended up winning the championship match.
Yeah. And we learned Z-Packs are the way to go.
That's right.
All right. Now, we got to go to our predictions for 2015.
Yeah.
Now, I have a few here.
Okay.
I'm just going to just name these off.
Sure.
First, another top moment is WWE Network launching.
That did happen.
I mean, numbers were down, but still, it's amazing.
I joined up in November.
You probably are mind-boggled.
It was free.
Free? Oh, yeah, you got it for free.
I got it for free in November.
Free 99. All right, predictions. I predict The Undertaker will not wrestle this year.
I agree with that prediction.
I don't think he will.
I think that's why you go the Sting Triple H route.
Yeah, but then you're going to have Bray Wyatt. I think they are still banking on it because that's the reason why Wyatt beat Ambrose. I think they want Wyatt to be strong for Undertaker.
Yeah.
But I think ultimately Undertaker's not ready. Sting wrestles Triple H.
Yeah.
You agree with that?
I do.
Okay. Cena ties Flair for a 16-time world champion, which I hate to say, but I think it will happen next year.
Yeah, I think you're maybe right, because that means otherwise you'd have to go a whole year without Cena winning the belt.
Yeah. These next three, good ones.
Okay.
At SummerSlam, Ambrose versus Rollins versus Reigns. Triple threat Shield match.
That's supposed to be on your WrestleMania dream card.
Yeah, but they're going to push it back, I think.
Yeah, which
SummerSlam would be good.
Again, frustrates me because I really wanted to see Ambrose Rollins finally head to head.
Yeah.
With that at WrestleMania.
That would be nice. Daniel Bryan beats Rusev to give Rusev's first loss via submission or pinfall.
In the Yes Lock?
the S-Lock
I don't know about that one.
for the United States Championship.
Do you think so? Daniel Bryan's going to come back after that historic run and win the U.S. Championship?
Yes. Well, he's going to beat Rusev.
Right. Okay.
So, but I think that United States Championship will not be there because I predict the European title will come back. Rusev is and Lana are going to bring back the European title.
I have seen something of that.
Yes,
because
she posted a picture of it.
That's right.
So that's my prediction for 2015. Now, here's a question for you. You probably just name the top of your head right now. Who will be your WWE champions in 2015?
Well, we already have Brock Lesnar.
Okay.
I do think that he wins again. I initially would have said Roman Reigns.
I don't see it now.
I don't see it now. I especially don't see it because, as I was alluding to prior to us coming and starting to record, one of the rumor mills that I read on multiple different sites and publications is that the backup plan now to get rid of Roman Reigns from winning the Royal Rumble, Dolph Ziggler winning your Royal Rumble.
That would be amazing.
And going to WrestleMania.
That would be awesome.
It'd be incredible.
But we got to see what happens if Ziggler gets reinstated or
that could
before
be.
the Rumble. I mean,
but
he
that's
will.
a great
He's not fired,
that's a
but
great thing to keep going with the storyline.
Oh, yeah.
Ziggler battling the Authority.
That'd be awesome.
So I mean, he's getting a heavy push to end 2014. Be great to see him getting a stronger push in 2015. I'd love to see him as a champion again.
Yeah,
and not just the world heavyweight champion or whatever he was with the old WCW title.
Yeah. So who else?
I think you probably see Cena as a champion again.
Yeah.
Those are the obvious ones that stick out to me. I think maybe at some point Daniel Bryan gets back to being the champion.
Okay. I'm going to put that down, too. All right, my list. Obviously, Lesnar.
Yeah.
Cena.
Yep.
I think Reigns will be champion sometime this year.
Yeah.
Ziggler is on my list. Daniel Bryan. I got one wild card for you. He's my guy. I think towards the end of this year, you will see Kevin Owens become WWE champion.
Really?
He's ready.
I think so.
The guy's ready.
What about Sammy?
6 months he's going to be on the roster, and I think it's going to be Owens versus Cena. Owens being legit heel, Cena being the babyface.
Okay.
You're going to have some great matches, and my guy, Owens, is going to be WWE champion by the time 2015 ends.
All right.
That's my bold prediction.
That could be good.
I'm getting excited.
Do you see Bray Wyatt entering the fold at all?
As champion? No.
Yeah.
I don't see it. If you go, if he faces Undertaker, that's going to be one. I don't think it's going to happen, but I don't see him being in the title picture this year.
He's just going to be one of those great mystical bad guys, I guess.
But he doesn't need to be champion.
No.
He's over on his own without being a champion.
He's good to have in the championship fold, though, in a match.
Yeah.
He's the kind of guy you have in a match, almost like in an Authority's back pocket, but he never wins the title because there's a disqualification or something crazy happens, and he just doesn't win, but at the same time he doesn't care. And I think that's what his character gives off too, which is smart, is that it's not about the championship, it's about just destroying everybody's life.
But I don't see Wyatt being a champion, but I think he will be a big-time player. But you have a bold prediction? You have a Kevin Owens being champion prediction? Do you have a bold statement you want to make?
Not something like that. That's pretty great right there. Because if you would have asked me a few months ago, I would have said Cesaro is going to be your champion at some point. I just don't know. I do think Cesaro and Tyson Kidd win the tag team titles.
I would like to see Cesaro and Barrett be a tag team, but I'm all for new tag teams. And
I would not say Wade Barrett as a champion because I just don't think he ever stays healthy again.
Yeah.
Not long enough. But that's it's so sad that that's where we are right now, is that I don't think there are any bold predictions of who becomes champion again.
I'm saying NXT has been pushing the needle. They've been turning some heads.
Yeah.
I think by the end you will see an NXT guy come up here and make an impact right away and become champion. I think that guy, believable guy, is Owens.
The only bold one I would have is somehow Triple H becomes champion again.
Oh, my goodness. Moving on from that. All right, I got a list here, and we're running out of time, so just really quick. The most Googled wrestlers of 2014.
Yeah.
Now, who is number one, do you think? We're not going to go through all these. Just the top ones.
Most Googled?
Yes.
Are these men and women?
Yes.
Got to be a Bella.
The most Googled one out of the whole.
Well,
no,
I'm thinking
no.
John Cena.
Out of 20, the Bellas are 15 and 20.
All right. Well, listen, I thought maybe they're on Total Divas. The chicks are into it. And then, the guys are going to look for naked pictures of them that aren't actually them, but it has their faces on them.
It's The Rock.
Oh, I guess he counts. He didn't really wrestle in 2014.
Cena's number 2. I think he's a legit
Did The Rock
wrestler.
wrestle in 2014?
No.
He shouldn't count.
But he came
All right.
back.
All right, fine.
CM Punk, number 3.
Yeah.
Had a 96% increase from 2013. He didn't wrestle in
Yeah, I didn't think about that. That's because everybody just want to know if he's coming back or not.
The wrestlers who decreased in Google metrics, The Big Show, minus 12%. Randy Orton, minus 12%.
Why is anybody Googling The Big Show?
Triple H, minus 14%, which is kind of surprising because he's in the major storyline all year long.
Yeah.
He wrestled at WrestleMania. Nobody cares about Triple H. He is a 4 out of 10, to quote Bret Hart.
Wow.
That's what Bret Hart thinks he is. 4 out of 10.
Well, he is. He's no excellence of execution.
Triple H will never be.
He's not the best
on the
there is,
show.
the best there was, and the best there will be.
So there's their most.
Yeah. Wait, sorry, Triple H. We didn't mean that.
The biggest increase.
Doing a great job.
The biggest increase in Google numbers is Roman Reigns, 394% increase.
People wonder when he's coming back.
Sting, 347% increase. And then that's it for Nikki Bella, 130%.
Yeah.
And that why for that. There's 2 reasons why for that.
Total Divas, and she dates John Cena.
No, there's 2 reasons for that.
Her sister, and she was the women's champion.
No. Her breast assist.
Oh, those.
Come on. All right. Raw last night. Wrap the show up really quick. It was John Cena Appreciation Night. And how fitting for John Cena Appreciation Night that it was crappy wrestling.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of it. I wasn't even that impressed with the ambulance match. Were you?
No. I mean, you can't go all out for a Raw. You gotta, you say that for pay-per-views. And why are there folding chairs and tables inside the ambulance? Who put those in there?
The medical staff.
I've never seen
it's
a folding
for a blood
chair.
drive.
For a folding chair in an ambulance?
If the ambulance has to be at the blood drive, they have the folding chairs and a table so people can sign up. They can have a seat. If they donate too much blood, they're going to pass out. That's what it's for?
No. Absolutely not.
All right, I was just trying to make it believable.
Absolutely not.
Could have happened.
One good thing.
Yeah.
Was Seth Rollins being inserted into the title.
Yeah, that'll
match.
make it interesting, huh?
Here's a little thing for you. I ran past this by Ryan before he got here. What if Seth Rollins wins?
What if he does?
And what if he wins the Rumble? So you have Seth versus Seth at WrestleMania. Then Seth cashes in Money in the Bank at WrestleMania. It would be called Sethomania.
So Seth would wrestle himself at WrestleMania?
Yes, he has no one to wrestle, wrestling himself. And then he loses to himself, and he cashes in on himself.
So you think he's going to be in the Royal Rumble?
Yeah, why not?
Because he's already in the championship match.
So?
Well, you don't go into the Royal Rumble.
Can I dream?
If you win the belt, you don't go into the Royal Rumble.
Why not?
That's just silly.
Why not? I would do it.
All right. What else happened on Raw last night? Anything exciting?
3 guys got fired. Ziggler, Rowan, and
Ryback.
The
big
fired.
guy.
They didn't really get fired.
Oh, maybe the big guy becomes champ this year.
No.
All right.
The big guy. He gone. Now, there was rumors during the day about a big angle for WrestleMania.
Yeah, I guess that's the angle.
What? No, that's not the angle for WrestleMania. What?
I
was hoping for Sting to come out.
Yeah, I don't know what the angle would be. We did get to see the return of Wade Barrett wrestling, though.
Yes.
So that was good.
Other than that, this Raw was terrible. When you have Adam Rose being the main event.
Yeah, Cesaro and Tyson Kidd showed up in their full body suits.
But
and,
still, it was awful.
The New Day.
The New Day was in the main event. And then you had Adam Rose's party clapping for the New Day.
Yeah.
It was awful.
And then he forced them into the ring after the match.
They were dancing.
Raw wasn't very good yesterday.
It was terrible.
It was all right.
It was terrible.
You did have all the Authority showing themselves.
Corporate Kane is back.
Yes.
Very forgetful of
Corporate Kane and Seth Rollins taking out the big guy. Luke Harper, Eric Rowan. Sure. Do you see Luke Harper getting into a championship fold again?
Maybe IC title.
Okay.
Down the road. They punish Ziggler with the IC title again or something like that. Maybe.
Just let me ask you this before we wrap up, as we're still kind of predicting in 2015. Does Chris Jericho get any sort of title run, whether it be Intercontinental, heavyweight, nothing?
No, he is now in the mode of putting guys over. So he will come back, work a program with the young guy, and put him over.
All right, we'll see
Just
him at
like
the Royal
Bray
Rumble.
Wyatt.
Oh, you know who's going to win the belt?
Who?
2015? Randy Orton.
You think
Put
so?
him on the list.
Why hasn't he come back yet?
I don't know. Waiting for a major WrestleMania angle.
Rumble? I mean, for the Rumble, maybe?
Yeah, come back for the Rumble.
I don't know. But Raw was just terrible. It was John Cena Appreciation Night. It's like every Raw is John Cena Appreciation Night, right?
Yeah. I don't know if you watch this as much, but in terms of pure wrestling and good matches, SmackDown, highly underappreciated. SmackDown tells the story within the show better than Raw does.
Because
anymore.
they can edit it.
I watched multiple SmackDowns throughout the course of 2014.
And they pump crowd music.
And it was doing, but they were great matches. I watched Seth Rollins, Dolph Ziggler multiple times. My God, what a rivalry that could be! It'd just be incredible. And they were both pretty good on the mic, back and forth to each other.
Yeah.
Rollins needs some work, of course, but I mean, a lot of fun, and just way better wrestling.
Yeah.
Overall.
Well, maybe that's my New Year's resolution for 2015. Watch more SmackDown.
My bold prediction for 2015 is that we might see more better wrestling.
Hopefully. The bar has been set low. I think we'll see a champion wrestle more than 5 times in a year, though.
There you go.
Hopefully. All right, so I'm going to wrap it up. Like I said, follow us, subscribe to us on iTunes, or go to clesound.com, Twitter, CLE Sound. Make sure to jump on, open up your latest issue of Cleveland Magazine as well.
Yeah.
A little love for the show is in there.
I missed it. I missed the photo opportunity in that one again. Yeah. Just like everything else. Missed the interviews. I missed that.
Sorry,
it's
man.
Fine.
Speaking of interviews, you can go back, listen to Jerry the King Lawler, Ethan Carter
quick
III.
shout out for Jerry the King Lawler.
Get well, Jerry.
Get well, Jerry. Friend of the show.
I was texting with his girlfriend last week.
What? That's rude.
Well, she's giving me updates on. I was texting.
About Jerry.
She was texting from his phone. I was texting.
Yep. Backpedal now.
But hopefully he gets well soon. And he was missed last night. I love Booker T, but he needs to be not on TV ever again. Awful on the air. Terrible.
Bring him back as GM. I'm fine with that.
No. Bring back Teddy Long. Holla, playa. All right, we'll talk to you guys next week. We will be doing this more on a weekly basis. Now the holidays are over. We're all good. We'll be going into Raw a little more in depth, get some more interviews. And like I said, check out us in Cleveland Magazine, iTunes, clesound.com. Tweet at us, at GlenmoreCLE.
At the Steve Guy.
There you go. And thanks for listening and downloading and our podcast and being a supporter of the show. And we will see you next week.